Okay, let's just confirm that we're live here. Then we can get cracking. Alrighty, live from my dining room table, because where else does one open gigantic toys? As I spill things and make a mess, and nobody want to see my baseball card binders. That's for a completely different channel. I'll be back in just a moment. All right. You know what? This thing weighs 23.5 pounds. I'm going to grab something to drink while I do this. Well, I had my favorite coaster here a second ago. What did I do with it? There it is. All right. Get this out of the way. All right. So today we've got something super special. It's that time of year again when large boxes show up at my doorstep, and large boxes show up at my doorstep, and I get to unbox a really cool toy. This time around, it's the Haslab Vintage Collection Star Wars. The Mos Eisley Cantina. I got the deluxe version because I have to have all the things. It has been a heck of a year here in the garage. All the Star Wars stuff is here at the house. Not a whole lot of it is on display, but we got the Ghost last year, and now we've got the Cantina. So let me lug this thing over and rip this thing open. Kablam. Alrighty. So, yeah, this thing's something like 20 by 24 by 15 inches. Weighs about 23.5 pounds. As usual, comes in the shipping box, and which is by far the least interesting part about this. Even so, let's just be cautious in opening everything. I'm so excited. All right. Here we have reinforced corners. Look at that. I swear the toy itself probably weighs about 1.5 pounds. Just the massive amount of packaging they put these things in. We've got our reinforced edges along the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. And our reinforced sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. This is going to be fun if I ever decide to put this back in the box. This is a fun part, is getting to stand up on a chair, try to get this thing out of the shipping box. Because it's a little bit awkward. Alright. So, what's in the box? A box! Imagine that. All right, we have another box. Let's need my box opener. This doesn't have near as much tape on it. Okay, very careful with that. It's a piece of cardboard! Yay! Could do a decent Kermit the Frog impersonation. That would have been perfect right there. Okay, so the first thing we have here, just slide this back a little bit, if I can get this out. Not expecting to struggle so much. All right, so first thing we got here is probably actually the last thing I'll look at. But this is the Deluxe add-on. Like I said, I did get the Deluxe version because I got to have all the things. It's got an extension to the Cantina with a couple more booths and all the stuff that comes with it. So we'll set that over here. Boop. And hey, we got some color in here. More cardboard. And I'm sure you loyal subscribers are like, wait a minute, I got a notification from this guy? When was the last time he posted anything? It's been a while. There we go. All right, and in that box, we have another box. Imagine that. This is a far cry from the Creature Cantina that came out when I was a kid. That's a severe understatement. But I am such a sucker for the vintage collection packaging. Anything that comes dolled up like old school Star Wars figures, I'm just a sucker for. The alternate covers on the Marvel Star Wars comics, the Hallmark ornaments, half of which are Comic-Con exclusives. Anytime they put something on that black card with stars, no stars in the background on this one, but that silver shiny logo and the painting of Luke and Leia, I am all over it. So we've got a great image of the set here showing the exclusive figures that come with it. This is the first time Wooher, the bartender, has been added to the vintage collection. We've got another Greedo, Brea and Seneca, or Brea and Tonica. Oh my goodness. No, Brea and Senna Tonica. I can't believe I'm messing up their names. Anyway, the Tonica sisters. Haven't had figures of them before. We've got Nabber and Leeds back there. I think they've changed the name. Used to call him the Shistavinen Wolfman. The Defil, the guy who got cut from the original movie when the special edition came out. But he's in there too. Give you a look at the top. It's got some more images in there where they've recreated shots from the movie. On the back, we've got the classic black and white illustrated rendition of the front of the packaging. Again on the sides. And then on the bottom, it's more recreated scenes from the movie. Sliding the tablecloth all over the place here. All right, so let us crack this thing open. And here's another touch I love. Anytime you get a booklet for the ship or the play set or whatever it is, just faithfully so much like the ones in the toys from when I was a kid. And there are a lot of little pieces to this. This is going to take some work. So, looks like we've got many boxes. But at least these have tabs on them to make them a heck of a lot easier to pull out. And I love that they put... I love that they put the old school Kenner logo on there. It makes me happy. Alright, so we've got boxes in boxes in boxes. Somewhere, I'm sure Christopher Nolan is cheering along for that. So, and they are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Got 5 boxes boxes there. So let's see what we got. And as I suspected, box 2 is the figures. So let's check those out real quick. Open that up. And there we go. Take insert off, and they're nice and protected with paper over the top to keep the cards nice and safe, which I appreciate. Of course, I'm going to take these out of the package at some point, so that's all right, but not just yet. So let's make sure these guys stay safe. All right, box 1. One of the cool things they did is because, you know, if you watch the original movie, there's not a whole lot of stuff on the walls, and as Star Wars has progressed over the years, there have been, you know, you started to see graffiti on the walls in the background and whatnot. So there's a sheet of stickers that they threw in with the set, so you can actually personalize your Cantina. It's got you know, it's got some docking bay stickers, even good old docking bay 94 there. Image of Eisley. Never seen a pronunciation guide for that dude's name, but the speeder merchant with the eyeballs in what we humans would consider unusual places on there. You got pod racing poster. Well, it looks like the Tonica sisters. Interesting. The Cantina band in there. All kinds of good stuff. I don't know that I'm actually going to stick any of them on anywhere because I just like keeping things nice and clean. But we'll see. All right, so we got some wall pieces, and you know what? Give me just a second. I'm going to mess with the lights a little bit. And if it seems like I'm totally unprepared for this, it's because I am. I didn't know that this was showing up today until I got a message from FedEx saying I was getting something I had to sign for. I'm not gonna lie, we've been having a heat wave in these parts, and I feel a little bad for the FedEx guy having to lug these things all over the place. All right, so here we go. That's a little better. I actually blinded myself as I turned that thing on. So yeah, we got some wall sections. Another one of those. Cardboard. Looks like some tables. Another table. And chairs. These are actually pretty cool. Maybe you can see, you know, they got some texture on there, and they actually feel a little rubbery on there. You can kind of see that it's the seat surface is actually, there's a seam there, so it's a different material that they glued on there. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those chairs, and then we got some little benches. Got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. And we've got a cat scratching to get in the house. Oh, we've got 4 more of the benches here. These don't have any fancy surface on them. Then we've got what looks to be the entrance here. Looking forward to seeing how all of this fits together. Okay, that's the top tier of the box. I'm gonna shift this stuff. Shift this over. And I'm going to let the cat in real quick. Hello, Noodle. Hi, Rory. 2 of my cats out here. All right, and we've got another archway here. We've got some of the bits to the booths, I think. Whole bunch more benches. I'm gonna feel mighty silly if some of these are different than others, but so far they look the same. And now we've got some love seats with, if you can see on there, they've got some damage to them. Looks like they're all identical. Got that. And we've got another archway. Let's get that other one over here. And a bunch of what look like wall segments. Some with some trim on them. Put that bag back in here. And a table. And it looks like, ow. Looks like that's it for parts in box 1. Seal that back up, and that can go back where it belongs. Okay, it looks like the first step is going to be just taking everything out, because the first steps that they're showing in the construction is actually all of the drink piping. So that was box 1. Box 2 was the figures. Let's take a look at box 3. Got more archways. These have some, these look like exterior because that paint is really faded. This looks like the ceiling above the bar, if I'm not mistaken. And And then we've got the bar itself, and let me see if I can get a better shot of that, because I opened it up and it almost looked like it was lit up. Take a look at that. That looks kind of cool, with the light reflecting off of it and everything. All right. So I'm going to take this out and the same pattern that it was in the box. Okay, we've got some more tables here with plastic caps on them to keep the lights on the top of them safe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. And that is it for box 3. As I get these boxes out of the way, it gives me a little more room to play with. Box 4, as I suspected, we have a lot of tiny parts. Hooray! But this is the stuff that goes into the center of the bar. So you can see a whole bunch of copper colored tubing here. This is going to be a lot of fun to figure out. Okay. Says that one goes right there. Hooray! Our first piece is connected. Tune in next time as... I'm kidding. Okay. These pieces are nuts. Check these things out. Little ones like this always worry me because they are really easy to lose. Okay, that one. Gotta open these carefully. Okay. And we've got containers, and this is going to be interesting because, like, this stand seems to want to pop out there. So there are many of these. So if you've been collecting for as long as I have, or even half as long as I have, you may remember that they started doing, they did some Cantina figures with pieces of the Cantina in the past. And then there were some figures where if the only place they ever appeared, that's kind of a cool piece, was in the Cantina, they'd give them an accessory like a cup, which was kind of a pain because trying to get them to hold the cup was not always easy, and they were tiny and could get lost very easily. So there's a long history of doing the Cantina and having very tiny pieces. And as I'm looking in, not this one, but the next one looks like a lot of even tinier cups than they've done in the past. So that'll be fun. All right, so we have this piece, which is great because this is the one I've been looking for because it's part of the next part of the first step. So let's see if I can set this up. There we go. Let's see this. See, this is why you should watch my YouTube channel on the biggest screen you have, because I present tiny pictures to you. All right. So this says I need to take a bottle like this and stick it in here, and a bottle like this and stick it in here, and then this all goes in. Every single one of these has a little hole in the top where you can poke it in there. I'm going to be very careful with this because I tend to be pretty heavy-handed when I'm not paying attention, and if I press a little too hard, I'm gonna break things, and I really don't want to break my new toy. And there we go. These are all in. We've got that down. These, okay, they're in. They're just not terribly solid. Okay, so look at that. We've finished step 1. And it's only taken almost half an hour. All right. All right, the next big old piece is this one right here. And this is gonna go, oh, we flip this around, and then, or do we? Oh, yeah. Here we go. Wait, or do we? No. That's what I get for trying to do things before I actually look. All right. So these, this is going to be interesting. All right, so where'd that little one I was afraid I was going to lose go? Here it is. So the little one I was afraid I was going to lose. It was right here on the end. There we go. This one has 3 spots where it sticks. One, 2, oh, and 3. Hey, that actually worked. Excellent. That's step 2 done. I think I'll put in less effort in my bar here at the house. Okay, so there's that. We've got another big old bit of tubing that doesn't go in yet. We've got what looks like, I don't even know. Looks like what the weird vampire-y dude was smoking out of in there. Right, and there are 4 of those. And then that are all curled up like that, and then there are 4 more that are not so curled up like that. So we'll just put those all together. That's the 3rd layer. I'm not even going to mess with this yet because I told you the next layer was cups. Look at all these cups. Got to cut them out. They're little tiny blue and red things that I'm not sure where the heck they're going to go yet. So for sanity's sake, I'm going to hold off on that. And then we've got the 5th layer of stuff in box 3 that has even more cups, but some of this stuff needs to go in onto the center of the bar. All right, so got this piece, and with that I need one of these to go onto here, and this one to go onto here, and my hands are way bigger, and okay, this piece actually looks a lot like an IG unit's head, which I know those tend to pop up in odd places throughout Star Wars. Okay, so that goes there, and that goes there, and this just stands on the edge there. All right, that looks like the picture. Sweet. All right, this one appears, it's a little more round, if anything. I don't know, a little reminiscent of 2-1B's head. I don't know. So many pieces. Oh, I just realized that the first time, I think it was the first time they did a Wooer figure was with the cardboard Cantina. I think I know where that is in the garage, so I'll have to pull that out and do a comparison at some point. Okay, this guy, another IG unit head, goes right there. And then we've got this one, another IG head, and another, I don't know, bowling ball thermal detonator. Who knows? Okay, it says it goes right here, but that's not quite spaced right. But that's what it says. All right, it says that there's, aha, had to turn it around the other way. Now I get it. That's much better. You know, everybody, well, almost everybody, usually ends up spending so much time paying attention to all the different aliens in the Cantina that, like, I don't ever really remember seeing this much detail in the bar, which just means I wasn't paying attention. Um, mm, mm, mm. Okay, did that and that. Um, oh, here I am looking for all this stuff, and it's sitting in the box right in front of me. So we've got another IG head. This one's got copper and silver tubing coming out of it. And this is another one that I got to twist the pipe because it goes right there. This goes in there. And this goes in here. You know, I'm going to see if I can rearrange this. Like I said, I was not expecting these to show up today, but I was so excited to open it up and stream it to you guys that I had to do it. It was zero prep time. But that's just the lack of professionalism you guys have come to expect of me over the years. So we're going to do this. And try to give you a better view of what I'm actually doing with all this. Shift this stuff around. Let's not use our love seats. Put them over there by the matching lounge chairs. Put that where I can see it. And make sure my phone doesn't fall off the table. Get this out the way. Not that anybody wants to see my grizzly face right now. I haven't shaved in like a week. All right. We don't need that anymore. I wonder if it'll let me do this. Well, I've got 0 viewers right now, so all right. So that'll make seeing the detail stuff a little bit easier. Well, this is interesting. Why is it? There we go. All right. Nope. Hope that worked. It's not coming off the top of my head anymore. Excellent. All right, so we've got this mess. All right, so pieces everywhere. So looking at this, got that in, I've got that in. I got that in. Okay, this is the next part I'm looking at right here. It's got a bunch of stuff on it. Oh, this is another one where there it's just going to be standing on the edge of the bar. There's a hole right there. Yeah, right there. Push that down, and then okay, this is interesting because in the picture it makes it look like the pipe is supposed to point that way, but I could be wrong about that. All right, let's just make sure they're both sitting on there nice and snug. So got that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's, oh, wait, that way, this one is actually supposed to go this way. There we go. All right. To step 4. So that's what I'm dealing with here. Got this piece which goes this way. And this is on the other side, I'm guessing. Yeah. Turn that around. One goes right there. And whatever you do, folks, don't put the pipes in your house like this. Pretty sure that's not going to pass any sort of municipal code anywhere. All right, and then we've got painstakingly detailed placements for these things. I'm worried that when I end up moving this, I'm going to lose stuff. So I will be right back in a minute because I need to get some museum wax. Right where I left it. All right, so if you're not familiar with museum wax, this is just, it's basically a wax that they use to help stick things to other things without permanently damaging anything. Unfortunately, this thing is hollow on the bottom, so I'll just put a little bit of wax on each side and put it on there. And as you can see, that thing isn't going anywhere. So I feel much more confident that I'm not going to mess anything up with this now. Okay. So that one goes there. A couple little bits for this thingy. It's just so tiny. And this goes right there. The manual I'm looking at is not full color, so figuring out which one's which is mostly a matter of comparing shapes to what is in this tray. Oh, and only now do I see that in rather bold type here it says rotate 180 degrees. Sweet. Alright, and then that one goes right there. And you can't really tell that they're stuck on there with anything, and they're not falling off when I tilt it. So this is, I'm so glad that I had this someplace I could find it easily, because that's going to save me a world of headaches. All right, so we've got this one, the brightly colored one, another IG head. Wouldn't it be fun if before he became a bartender, Wooer's job was to go around and track down rogue IG droids and decorated the bar with them. And who owns the bar these days anyway? I know in the Legacy books it was a Wookiee named Chalman, but I don't know if they've changed that. Right, this guy goes right there. This one looks like this one. This one that's in one of the stands that it seems to want to pop out of. And this piece goes in there. I actually did have a friend who had a like, I swear the bar in his garage was probably about this size, and he had this many different libations in it, and it was kind of nuts, but man, could he pour a drink. Alcoholic and non-alcoholic. Well, glad I caught that, because goes. That is supposed to go over there. And then in. Once again, folks, do not plumb your house like this. All right, that's much better. Okay, so we've got one silver thing like that, another silver thing like that. Boop, boop. Then this silver thing, which goes over under here. And then this one. Having the right spot? Yeah, it feels like it. Well, I'm not seeing any more holes for anything, so I think we're doing all right here. Step 5 is complete, I think. Yeah, got that thing in there. All right. All right, step 6, for those of you following along at home. Goes like this, and this goes in on top of these. There we go. I love it when you actually get a nice click out of them. Okay. There's that piece. And that goes into... Oh, there's that stand falling off again. Bada bing. This plugs in to one of these. Oh, and this goes through here. Or does it go over the top? I think it goes there. Yeah, that looks about right. Put that stand back on there. And this spins around and plugs into there. I feel like I could hire myself out to put these things together for some of the high-end collectors around these parts. We're too busy with actual day jobs to actually have time to put stuff together like this. There. That fits nicely. Okay, it shows a couple more of these parts. Up here. But I don't see them like this one. Just a simple 90-degree bend. And it's got it highlighted here, but I don't see where it's supposed to go. So we're gonna let it be for now. All right, so now let's scoot that out of the way. Grab the top here. All right. We've got this piece that needs to go along the ceiling. There, there, and there. Excellent. And then this should come as no surprise to anyone. But these pieces all go together. Four. All right, then we need one of the wall pieces, not that one. Oh, duh, this one. The one with the holes that go into the tabs at the end of the bar. So let's there we go. Tabs there. Tabs there. And we can wait, which end? This way. All right, and scooch this over here. Oop. Oh, I should have put this on some plywood or something. It would have made it much easier to move later. Goes in there. That goes in there. Mm-mm-mm. It's not supposed to go that way. Let me try something real quick. Where is that supposed to go? On that side. Definitely not supposed to go on that side. So we'll just leave it like that. Put this back in here. The bar sections are not wanting to stick together as well as I'd hoped. There we go. All right, how's that looking? That's looking like a Star Wars bar right there. Excellent. All right, and then, oh, here we go. From there, we've got the arch, which comes in on this side. I feel like I'm not pressing these together as hard as I can, hard as I should, because they keep popping loose. All right, so we got that, and then we've got this piece. Goes in there. No, I got it upside down. There we go. There, 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 there. There. Interesting that they put in these pieces on this side for you, but we've got to put this one in ourselves. All right, so there's that. And then this goes in top. Hey, what do you know? All right, there's the pipe that was in the ceiling. There it is. If I can get in here, stick that. Oh. Right there. Okay, and then pop that in, and then get that back in where it belongs there. Excellent. Excellent. All right. And the bar's falling apart again. This is looking pretty cool. Okay, so that L-shaped piece, if you look around the front, goes in the top of that thing and hooks into the edge right there. Excellent. Let's adjust that a little. Boop. There we go. And then this one is supposed to go in that spot right there. But then we got to make sure that this is still actually sitting on the bar. All right. One, two. Oh. The tops of these also need to go in those slots. All right. I dare say this is looking pretty good so far. Except this doesn't want to sit. There we go. Okay. Next page. It looks like we're making booths. I'm going to leave that sitting right there. We're going to move a little bit. Brewed some sun tea yesterday and it tastes lovely. Okay. We need this wall. And these. Oh. All right, let's see, is there a difference? There is a difference. All right, so earlier pulled out the two different booth pieces, and there's trim on this one. These ones were the ones in the plastic bag. Turn them around, they are, you can tell they're different on the back side as well. Other than that, they're the same size. So figuring out which ones go in which booth. So according to this, that one goes on that side and that one goes on that side, plus there are also tabs that they call out in the instructions, and so, and then they each go into different booth fronts. So let's turn this around like this, and then these just press in. just like that. And then, but as you can see, you can take off the roof of each booth and get at your figures that way. Okay, and here's where the fun begins. These little red and blue lights. Can you tell how excited I sound about this? Look at that, I almost lost one already. Shoot over there. Just spin these out. I was always horrible about taking model parts out of stuff like this when I was a kid. I'm sure some of you purists are probably out there like, dude, you need to use a hobby knife or something. And yeah, I got no patience for that. Never have. But then again, like I said, I was never very good at putting models together. Actually, just the other day, I found a couple pieces of the original R2-D2 model that I had when I was a kid. And see, that's what I knew was going to happen. I just dropped one of the little red thingies. I'm so happy. Where'd the red thing go? All right, I'll look at that in a minute. So in all three of the roofs, it goes red, blue, blue, red. So I'm going to take the blue ones out, hopefully not lose one this time. I hear one of the cats sneaking in and eating. Normally I'd try to have a cat cam going, but with the weather being the way it's been lately, cats have not been coming in the house all that much, which is kind of odd considering I have air conditioning and it's been blazing hot outside, but they've just been loafing out there. Okay, there we go. See, I almost lost that one again. All right, so red, blue, blue, red. And I think they're sticking to my skin and flying all over the place. Is it supposed to go that way or the other way? Well, hello, Ducky. I see you've come to help. Hi, buddy. Please do not eat the small plastic pieces. Oh, there we go. They go in more at an angle. Okay. A couple of red ones. God. Well, like I said, this is why I usually try to have a cat cam. All right, there's one. Here, let me get the figures off of your perch there. Hello. You are cracking me up, dude. Hey, look at that, I've got a viewer. Hello. 2 viewers. Amazing. Welcome. Can you still see Ducky back there? I think he's just off screen, but the adorable cat just walked through the middle of everything, and I'm putting little tiny plastic peg things in to the ceiling. And there we go. All right. Got all 3 of those done. I'm going to put these someplace where hopefully I don't lose any more of them. And then we've got another booth put together. One there, that one there. And on the front of this one, we've got this piece. Thankfully, the ceilings on these all match. And then the only ones left. That. I do love that these are so easily removable. Man, if something like this would have come out when my kids were smaller, they would have gone nuts bugging me to play with this, because let's face it, this Cantina is like a gigantic Star Wars figure dollhouse at this point, and I am here for it. But I'm not here for taking all of these stinking tiny cups out of the packaging yet. All right, so we've got those together. And now posts. I don't remember seeing. Wait, is this? I've got a whole box of parts I haven't opened yet. What? All right. I think I have to open the last box, because I don't see some of these pieces. Sweet. Let's do this. This, but I gotta move this. There we go, box 5, yay! Man, that's the piece I was looking for. Excellent. Oh, we got even more chairs. There is the entrance, I think. I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. We've got more and more pieces. More cups. All right. There's that. There's that. I'll put that back in later. All right. So now we're getting serious, I think, here. 3 viewers. Oh my goodness. Welcome aboard. We are almost an hour and a half into this mess. Well, heck, actually, with everything at this angle on the main camera, it almost looks like the skyline of Mos Eisley. So we've got a big old arch. We've got the entrance. We've got some connecting pieces. We've got a side door. Is that maybe where R2 and 3PO hid from the stormtroopers? Here's the other big. And then we've got the main entrance with the droid detectors and whatnot. So we will see how we're putting these together here. Okay, this one first. All right, so we've got one of the booths, which if you're just joining us, the roof comes off rather easily, which is going to be awesome because, you know, at some point I'm going to go through and figure out where the heck I put the figures in the garage and pull them out and fully populate this thing. But we're starting with this booth, and it connects to this corner piece, which connects to this booth. Just like that. I'm gonna have to switch the cameras around a little bit here in a minute, aren't I? Because we're gonna need, you guys are gonna need more viewing space. But at least right now you can see Ducky cleaning his leg. It's a good thing you're adorable. All right, and then, so we got that, and then the other, actually, I gotta get the packing materials out of the way. If I can slide this over. And this just goes right into there. This is looking so cool. Got, let's get everything in place. Man, and this is just the main part of it. I haven't even gotten to the expansion bit. All right, so that goes there, there, and this goes here. And then this part, this little dealy bobber, goes there, right there. Okay, look at this. We're on step 15. How can this be? All right, so let's get the booths out of the way. We need entrance. We need the arch. Goes right on the front of there. This side doesn't want to go on. There we go. And then we've got the door. Oh, wait. This piece. Does it just slide in like that? I guess so. Doesn't actually connect really. But as you can see though, that gives you, I mean, straight walk up into the lobby there. Other side, you can actually look into the stairs, and then this just comes off, so you can easily access, you know, pose your figures, run them through there, pretend that the bartender's yelling at them. It's one of those things where I'm afraid if I press too hard, I'm going to break it. But there we go. So that goes on there too. And so you've got from the outside, it gives it a little more of a facade there. Oh, there we go. So that's that step. And then it looks like it's time to bring it all together. Literally. All right, bear with me 1 second. I'm going to switch the cameras around because this little one is not going to do it. There we go. All right. Man. Okay, he didn't lose it. Good. All right, so let's tilt this a little bit this way. And so much furniture. Okay, so we've got this string of stuff. Let's bring it this way a little bit because nobody wants to see my belly. You just want to see toys, and who can blame you? All right, so we got that. All right, I'm gonna move this out of the way for a second. And this is gonna be a pain, but there we go. All right. That goes right there. But then gotta slide all this back this way, because the entrance plugs in that out of the way. The entrance plugs in right there. And I do believe that is the main assembly. And give me a second to get this other camera up and running again. There we go. All right. So you've got the entrance. You go down in there. You've got the 3 booths. You've got the bar itself. And that is the main assembly of everything. I mean, this is amazing. I don't know where the heck I'm going to put it, but this is amazing. Oh man, I can hardly wait. I know at some point somebody is going to make little light up dealy bobbers for these tables. So we're going to pop the roofs off. We've got, there's supposed to be 1, 2 tables there. All right, and in the side thing, look how tiny these are, but they'll fit little tiny Star Wars figure butts. Okay, so got 3 chairs in there. Oh, another table with 2 stools here. Wait, are these? Oh, there are 2 different ones. There are A's and F's. F's are very tall. So these are supposed to be F's or A's. And here's what I mean by that. You've got your A with a really short stand and your F with a much longer one. Okay, there's that, and that. We need another table over here with another couple of A's. It's funny because, like, I've seen the first Star Wars movie a million times, and again, just never think about just how big that cantina was. Okay, need a couple more A's for the first booth, and a C, which is the love seat. And then the second one's got a love seat on that side, and a table kind of out front, and a table kind of back in the corner. And we've got 2 A's, one there, one there, and then AFA. Isn't that a grading company? Feel like a set decorator with all of these pieces. And then 2 more A's. Then another table here. And a couple more A's. And then the infamous back booth. Can go there, and then that table is just kind of like right there, and then got F's there, and the last F here, and somehow I've got an extra A. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 2, 2. Well, there we go. Okay. That's all that. I haven't done. Oh. One more thing is the hookah pipe setups. So this is not looking like it's going to want to stay. It's so tiny. Look at this. We've got this little pipe thingy here, and we've got the hose here, and it is not looking like it wants to stay. Okay, there we go, got one. There's that, and there's that. Okay, well, let's try the ones. Or, is that? Yeah. Don't mind me as I mumble to myself. It's not like I've been putting Star Wars together Star Wars toys together for almost 50 years or anything. Yeesh. Yeah, this really doesn't want to stay. Well, we'll just pretend that's together, and let's see if I can get you a good view of everything now that the here, let me do this. Now that the furniture's in place. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, this set is so big, it's just hard to get it all in one shot. You've got the droid detectors in the entrance, you've got all the tables, you've got chairs, you've got the booths, and I just, the amount of detail they put into the bar itself is just kind of insane. I mean, look at that. I can hardly wait to get this lit properly and get all the figures in here. It's going to be so much fun. Although I don't really remember there being chairs in the entrance. Oh man, I just realized my oldest we both start school on Monday, and she has a requirement to watch the first Star Wars movie. So I'm gonna watch that again and just drive her nuts, pausing all over the place in this scene just so I can say, hey look, that's just like it is in the toy. But there's more. And I know you got to be like, how could there possibly be more? But like I said, this is the deluxe version of the playset. So give me a moment to let the cat in because he's scratching the heck out of my screen door. Rory, are you going to come in? No, don't scratch the screen door, you butthead. Come here. Say hi to the internet. It's still like 1,000,000 degrees out there. This is Rory. He's my homie. I will not be surprised if he also tries to jump on top of the table. Yes, will you please? No. No. You're such a butthead. I know, and I'm using your spot to hold my light. There you go. Thank you for not destroying anything. I appreciate you. So, like I said earlier, I usually have a cat cam running because one of them is usually asleep in here. But the weather has been very weird. I live like walking distance to Disneyland, and it's been very hot and humid today. So the cats have been off their usual schedule a little bit. All right, so all this stuff, and there's still a whole nother box. How can this be, right? So, finished that. I'll break out all of the cups and everything later, but there are just so darn many of them. All right, as I suspected, so this is the other wall. So this should go pretty quick. Actually, so far, so these back wall pieces are identical to the ones on the other side. I'm imagining they're going to be pretty easy to put together. Oh, lovely. More tiny red and blue things. My favorite. More glasses. Okay. Got more and more and more pieces. I'm just going to put them in a pile. More A benches. More cool seats. I do like the rubbery texture that they use for those. Yeah, this is basically pretty close to exactly what was on the other side. Oh, here's a nice little detail there. Got the skull on the wall. Got more archways for the booths. Man, I'm glad I didn't try to put this together in the other room. Did not have as much room in there, and I had no idea how big this was actually going to be. More wall pieces. Another bag with the fancy wall pieces. At this point, there's just so much here. More tables. I genuinely don't know where the heck I'm going to put this. I mean, I've still got a ghost on the coffee table in the other room, and it's so big it takes up the whole darn thing. Got the love seats. And the roofs. 3 of those. And I do believe those are all the pieces. Yup. Alright. Extension. Okay. Which one's which? We've got actually, so we've got cups, I'm not sure exactly what the heck that's supposed to be, but little tiny red and blue lights. Which, if you were watching earlier, you saw I already lost one of the red ones, but thankfully they provided a couple extra because they're really, really tiny. And I'm not the most dexterous of beings anymore. 8. They're so tiny. So while I'm dealing with this, I'm looking at one of my main bookcases. Well, not really a bookcase, but my bookshelves. So much Star Wars on there, including my original copies of the first novelization of the first movie. And I think the hardback version I have is like from some book club or something. All right, so the fun part, these things are so tiny. Look how small that is. And I've got to put 4 of them in each of these roofs. Red, blue, blue, red. But having done this once before, I feel confident that the process will be a bit more smooth. So of course, I drop one as I'm saying that sentence. All right, there's 1. There we go. Red. Blue. Blue. Red. Come on. It's in there all the way. That's in there all the way. All right, there's 2. Oh. And red. Blue. Blue. Red. And that's what that looks like when they're all in there. All right, so we've got walls. There we go. One of those walls, one of those walls. Now the question is, which fronts go where? Oh, while I'm doing reds and blues, let's get down to this piece, and this also needs red and blue. Red and blue. There we go. Little tiny lights. Hooray. Okay. And then, so this is the middle one. This has the thing. Wait. Okay, the middle one has the one with a hole in it. guessing. No, that's not where that goes. Okay. We've got the nifty little angle thing there. So there's one. There we go. One of those wall pieces, one of those wall pieces. This is the end one, so it gets this front. Alright, and this goes right there. And hello, Rory. One wall piece, two wall pieces. The last booth front. And this goes straight onto there, but this goes right there. And now I need to move stuff, and the cat is in the way. Because that's how he do. Oh, Mr. Butthead Man. Or it's like, who you calling a butthead? Alright. Rory, why don't you get up here, dude? It's about the only place there is space for you right now. Hi, could I help you? Get out of here. Here, why don't you go up there? Okay, so we spin this around. This goes here. Plug those together. Plug this in here. Feel like I'm missing a piece. He says as he hears something fall to the ground. Down to one viewer. Well, whoever you are, I appreciate you. Considering I have like no announcements for this page as of yet. I'm glad you found me. Oh, I was like, there's got to be another piece here. The final piece. I am so glad that I got the deluxe version of this, because without this other side, I would have been like, this is clearly missing something. This is just nuts. So much stuff. You're being a good boy now, Rory. I appreciate you. All right. All right, I did not see where this club thingy is supposed to go. No idea. I mean, I'm guessing it's like an animal skull of something, of some type, but I mean, it looks like a weird crocodile, but I can't tell where it's supposed to go. All right, so what's the layout for this side? I am totally playing with a giant Star Wars dollhouse. This is a little crazy. See another viewer, welcome, welcome. Actually just about got this wrapped up. This is one heck of a toy. Okay, and another one of these. And a couple of these. And a couple of tables. Chair and love seat. And love seat and a chair. Table there, table out here. Where the heck did this table go? Oh, this table goes in the corner. And a couple chairs out here. And a chair in here. And that's it for that. And, well, hold on. Just got so many chairs. I'll give you guys another fly over here in a minute once I get this other side fixed. Doop. Okay. There. So many tiny little chairs. Knocked over the bar stools. Not the first time that's happened in this bar. That is for sure. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's the F, so that goes there. Two. I'm just putting it there. All right. So first, let's do a pass with all the roofs on. Doesn't that want to push in? There we go. Alrighty. Hold on to your butts. So this is I mean, this thing is, I'd say, about 2.5 feet square. if this camera was a little smaller, I'd be able to get it through the door. But yeah, it's still a little big even with that front piece taken off. But man, I can hardly wait to get the figures out of the garage and put them all in here. It's gonna be so cool. Oh, my friend with the smoke machine I could have borrowed moved. That would have been cool too. But just, I mean, much like they did with the Razor Crest, there are just so many small pieces to everything in here. I mean, not just the detail in the bar itself, but I haven't even started getting all the glasses and everything. There are a whole bunch more of them back there too, and it's just, you know, like with the Razor Crest, they did like every single individual little weapon that he had in his ship. And, you know, every chair, every table, every light, every piece of the bar. This is kind of crazy. But yeah, that's just about everything put together. You know, blah, 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 like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Tell your friends. I'm going to be trying to do a heck of a lot more of this stuff. I have literally years of Star Wars stuff that I have not yet opened. And, you know, taking toys out of the packages is something I've been enjoying doing for a very long time. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. And yeah, there you have it. The Haslab Star Wars Vintage Collection Mos Eisley Cantina. All 2+ hours of putting it together. So hope you had fun watching. Hope I didn't ramble too much as I was trying to figure this out. And hopefully we'll see you sooner than later. Take care.